Have you ever worked for a leader who seemed to have zero self-awareness? Like the kind of boss who thinks they're inspiring, which they are, but they inspire people to update their resumes instead of showing results? Or maybe you've seen the opposite. Someone who knew exactly how to read the room, motivate their team, and create a workplace where people actually wanted to be. That's not just good leadership. That's emotional intelligence. And if you think it's just a corporate buzzword, think again. Companies built on high emotional intelligence outperform their competitors. Leaders who get this right create engagement, trust, and loyalty. And leaders who don't, they create turnover, burnout, and resentment. So what's emotional intelligence? And how do we start using it to lead better? Let's talk about it. I'm Jim Mayer, and welcome to Work But Make It Human, the podcast where we break down the people skills that make work, well, work. If you're new here, welcome. So happy you're here. If you're coming back, thanks for being part of the movement. And hey, if you're also into manufacturing in some way, shape, or form, which everybody is, don't forget to check out the Manufacturing Culture Podcast, where we explore the human side of the manufacturing industry. Now, let's dig into this emotional intelligence thing and why it's an authentic leadership skill that nobody talks enough about. Emotional intelligence has been around for a while, but it didn't really gain traction until the 1990s when Daniel Goleman introduced it to the business world. Suddenly, companies started realizing that the most successful leaders weren't just the ones with the best credentials, the highest IQ, or the most experience. They were the ones who knew how to read the room, regulate their emotions, and bring out the best in people. Let's break it down. At its core, EI is about understanding emotions, yours and everyone else's, and using that understanding to lead better. There are 5 key components of emotional intelligence. 1, self-awareness. This is the foundation of leadership. This is the ability to recognize your emotions and understand how they impact your behavior and decisions. Self-aware leaders don't react, they reflect. It's the difference between a manager who explodes when things go wrong and a leader who recognizes their frustration and channels it into solving the problem. A Harvard Business Review study found that self-aware leaders are more effective at decision-making and drive stronger team performance. Number 2, self-regulation. This is all about mastering your reactions. Leaders who can't regulate their emotions create a fear-based culture. It's one thing to feel frustrated. It's a whole nother to lash out at your team when a deadline is missed or a project is messed up. Self-regulation is the difference between a boss who fires off a 2 a.m. angry email and a leader who takes a moment, reflects, and addresses the issue with some clarity. The highest performing CEOs are known for their ability to stay calm under pressure. Jeff Bezos once said, "When I get really upset, I like to wait before responding because what I say in the moment is almost never what I should say." Number 3, motivation, which is leading beyond the paycheck. Leaders with high EI don't just set goals. They inspire people to work towards them. They don't rely on fear, micromanagement, or do this because I said so type tactics. Instead, they connect the work to purpose. So next time you set a big goal, don't just give a what, explain the why. Why does this project matter? How does it impact the team, the company, and the people involved? This is what separates great leaders from forgettable ones. Number 4, empathy, the underrated leadership skill. Empathy is not about being nice or letting things slide. It's about truly understanding where people are coming from. When a leader lacks empathy, they make decisions in a vacuum. Studies show that leaders who demonstrate empathy increase engagement and reduce turnover. Why? Because when employees feel understood, they stay put. It's as simple as that. Number 5, social skills, which is the power of influence. Leaders with strong social skills don't manage people, they connect with them. They know how to build trust, navigate conflict, and bring people together. So let's talk about what happens when EI is missing. Leaders with low emotional intelligence can look like when employees are walking on eggshells, afraid of their boss's unpredictable reactions. It looks like a workplace where burnout is common because people don't feel heard or valued. It also looks like leaders who confuse authority with effectiveness. On the other hand, high emotional intelligence creates higher retention rates because people don't leave managers who value them, stronger innovation because people feel safe sharing new ideas, and better leadership pipelines because high EI leaders develop the next generation of talent instead of just dictating tasks. And here's the part that separates EQ from IQ. Your IQ, your raw intelligence, is pretty much set from birth. But your EQ, your emotional intelligence, this can be developed. That's right. Unlike IQ, which is relatively fixed, emotional intelligence is a skill you can strengthen. That means that anyone, yes, even your boss who makes people cry during performance reviews, can improve how they lead, connect, and communicate. Sounds simple, right? But let's be honest, most workplaces aren't built on emotional intelligence. You can be the smartest person in the room, which I highly, highly discourage leaders from feeling like they're the smartest person in the room. But if you feel like you are, if you can't communicate, collaborate, or connect, you won't be effective as a leader. So for decades, leadership looked like this. Tough leaders don't show emotion. Keep work and feelings separate. If you're struggling, toughen up. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. How many times have you heard something like, let's leave emotions out of business? Or employees are lucky to have a job? Or one of my favorites, the best workers are the ones who don't complain. And let's not forget the myth of strong leadership, which usually just means someone who makes decisions with zero input from the people affected by them. What's the problem with all this? Low emotional intelligence creates fear-based workplaces. And fear-based workplaces create high turnover because people leave when they feel unheard, creates toxic cultures because people mirror the worst leadership behaviors, and bad decision-making because leaders who can't regulate emotions make reactionary choices. We've all seen it. The leader who confuses accountability with control. The one who micromanages instead of trusting their team. The one who lashes out under pressure instead of pausing to think. These leaders don't just burn out themselves, they burn out their teams. But it doesn't have to be this way. Not at all. So what does emotionally intelligent leadership actually look like? Let's take those 5 EI components and make them real. Self-awareness. This is know how you impact others. Have you ever had a boss who thought they were motivating, but actually they just stressed everyone out? If you don't know how your emotions impact others, you're completely leading in the dark. At the end of your workday, ask yourself, what emotions did I bring to my conversations today? Did I make people feel heard, or did I steamroll them? Number 2 was self-regulation. Self-regulation is responding, not reacting. I had a manager who told me this years ago, and I've had a sticky note attached to my computer ever since. Low EI leaders send passive-aggressive emails. High EI leaders pause, breathe, and respond with intention. So try this. Before responding to a frustrating email, take a walk. Give yourself 5 minutes. Then come back and respond. Don't react. Number 3, motivation. Lead with purpose, not just metrics. Transactional leadership focuses on performance only. Emotionally intelligent leadership focuses on why people care. So try this. The next time you set a goal for your team, ask, why does this matter beyond the numbers? And how can I connect this goal to people's motivation? Number 4 was empathy. Please, actually listen. A leader without empathy is just a manager of tasks. A leader with empathy creates trust, connection, and loyalty. So try this. The next time a team member brings you a concern, don't just offer solutions, ask questions first. To me, the first question that I ask is, are you looking for a solution, advice, or just a vent? But other questions you can ask are, what's the biggest challenge for you here? And how can I support you? The fifth one is social skills, and this is influence through trust. The best leaders don't lead with power, they lead with connection. And connection starts with trust. So try this. Make one small trust-building move this week. Be vulnerable about a mistake you've made. Give someone public recognition for their effort. Ask for feedback on your own leadership. These super small actions, they will build a culture where people actually want to show up. So how do we apply this thing called emotional intelligence? Because it's one thing to understand these principles, it's a whole nother to actually live them. So for you individuals out there who are leaders without a title, this is how you strengthen your EI. Ask for feedback. Seriously. Go to your team, your colleagues, your boss, your mentor, and say, how do you perceive me as a leader? Listen to what they say without defending yourself. Also, pause before you react. Next time you feel yourself getting frustrated, wait. Count to 10, take a deep breath. Then respond with intention. Another tip is to change your default question from what's wrong to what's challenging you right now. This shifts the conversation from criticism to collaboration. And for all of you leaders out there who have a title, here's how you create a high EI culture. Please listen before you act. Before making sweeping changes, gather feedback. Employees will tell you what's working and what's not, if you create the space for them to speak. You've got to recognize the human element. Every policy, process, or decision impacts real people. Make sure you're thinking about who is affected and how. And last, build psychological safety. If employees fear retaliation for sharing ideas or concerns, they will disengage. A high EI leader creates a space where people feel safe to speak up. So folks, here's the bottom line. Emotional intelligence isn't about being soft. It's about being strategic, effective, and human. And unlike IQ, which you're stuck with, EQ is something you can build. Here's your challenge for this week. Pay attention to how emotions shape your workplace. Join in this conversation, subscribe, leave a review so more people find us, and check out the Manufacturing Culture Podcast for more discussions on the human side of manufacturing. Also, don't forget to go download your free resource. You can grab your emotional intelligence toolkit now at themfgconnector.com. I'm Jim Mayer, and remember, you already are a leader. Now let's make sure you're leading like it matters. See you next time on Work, but Make It Human.